What is the deepest, darkest secret you found out about a friend that really messed with your head? When I was around 8 years old, I met a girl named Molly. Her family had moved in that summer to a house a few houses down, and I really didn't see her for the first month or two that summer. My first memory of her was when I was playing with a small anthill in my backyard and she came over and joined me. She showed interest in my anthill, and by 8-year-old logic she was the coolest person ever, and we became best friends. We would play every day that we could in her backyard or my backyard, go to the pool, ride bikes, ride scooters, and play basketball. Basically, if I went outside she would be out with me. A few years later we were still best friends and did everything together. When we were about 12-13ish, I remember it was the late fall of 7th grade when she didn't show up for a month of school. When she came back she didn't really tell me why she was gone. She said that she was sick and was taking medication to get better, so I never thought too much about it after. We would still hang out every day, but I started to notice that she wasn't the same. She wasn't as hyper as she always was, like she would have to take breaks more often when we were doing stuff. The summer before 8th grade and 8th grade she still seemed pretty normal, but I remember that her mom would call her in to take medication and she could stay out as long with me anymore. High school started. We went to the same high school but didn't get to hang out as much because I was playing baseball and she started to take up playing the piano. She used to play softball/baseball with me until she said she had to stop playing baseball, so she took up an instrument. Because of our different schedules we didn't get to see each other too often, and we would once or twice a week, but it felt like we never talked. In the summer after freshman year we used to hang out every day, but she couldn't go out as much. She would be inside her house more, and I would go over to her place and watch TV, play video games, and she got really good with the piano, so she would play when my family would go over for barbecues. This summer was also the same summer she was going to the doctors more often. She would always tell me it was just a checkup, and if she didn't say checkup she would say she was getting testing done. She would tell me that she was okay, but I knew something wasn't okay. Our family shared a beach house down in South Carolina that we would go to in August of each summer. About the second week of being there, that's when I found out. We would go out to the boardwalk pretty much every morning before it got too hot and just go to the beach, get ice cream cones every day, and do whatever. This was the first summer that her dad had to come with us everywhere, and it wasn't really a big deal. Neither one of us really minded, but I didn't know why he wanted to come. We were standing in line to get food when I saw her pass out in the middle of ordering food for everyone. I was freaking out while her dad called her mom to meet them back at the house because Molly passed out. So he picked her up and we ran back to the house, which was about 5 minutes away, and just got in their car and started speeding towards the local hospital. Her parents took her to emergency care and I waited in the waiting room. I called my parents and told them what happened, and they met me at the hospital. About 6 hours later I was allowed to see her, and she told me that she was okay and that she must have passed out from the heat and not drinking enough water. She was staying at the hospital overnight, so she and my parents took me out to eat and stopped by the house first to get changed and stuff before heading back to the hospital. I had just finished showering and getting changed when her mom stopped by my room and told me that she and parents had to talk to me. This was the scariest moment of my life. Her parents had told me that Molly was diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, back in the 7th grade, and that she wasn't expected to live much longer. Her condition was getting worse and she might only live for a few more years. I didn't know what ALS was, so they were explaining it to me, and I remember crying for an hours. I went back to the hospital with her parents to check up on her and get her food, and then we went to her room and they told her that they told me what was happening. She was literally a year or two from death, but she didn't cry or feel sorry for herself. She had just passed out and was smiling and joking about saying she wasn't going to have to do her summer projects and homework at least, and was comforting her parents and I. She was the most amazing person I have ever met to be able to be that happy and confident in the face of death. She ended up coming back to school that fall with me, and she told our small circle of friends what might happen to her in the coming year and how she wanted it to be the best year. It was the most bittersweet moment of my life. All my friends and I quit sports and after school clubs so we could hang out with her every day. And we all just did whatever she wanted. Any place she wanted to go, anything she wanted to do. My parents would even let me sleep over at her house whenever we wanted, and I basically ended up living with her for the entire sophomore year of high school. That was the most fun year of my life and I won't forget it. That summer her condition worsened. And on August 17th she passed away. She was the prettiest, smartest, funniest, most confident, outgoing, energetic, friendliest and loving person I will ever know.